Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. It has been too long since I've last recorded, but right now as I sit, I'm currently 6.5 weeks out from my competition. I believe the last video I posted, I was in my off season. It's probably like 4 or 6 months ago. Who even knows? But we're here now. We started 20 weeks out for this prep. We're more than halfway through. We're at that crunch time, that point where I feel like shit. I don't want to train. I don't want to do cardio. My food is so low right now. I'm only doing like 45 minutes of cardio, which isn't too bad, but it is every day and it is fasted. The biggest thing is my food. So right now I'm on an extremely low carb diet. The whole goal is to deplete my body of glycogen and get rid of as much fat as possible and retain as much muscle as possible. So as you can see, we're looking okay. I just woke up, haven't eaten anything, just finished my cardio. And we have meal one right here, but this isn't a normal meal one. This is day one of the 3-day refeed, meal number one. So my meals in the morning on most days, like up until this point, was depressing as fuck. It was just chicken and vegetables. Not even beef. I had beef in my first meal for so long that got swiped. So up until this point, like I said, my carbs have been super low. I think training day, it's only pre and post workout, and then rest day, I only get trace amounts from vegetables. So I have been starving lately. Like, I am not motivated to train, not motivated to go to the gym. I'm still showing up, but I feel like shit. I feel like I'm dragging my feet everywhere. So last check-in, my coach was like, hey, we're gonna do a 3-day refeed. So I'm gonna take you guys through that. So meal one right here, 80 grams of oats, 1 scoop of protein powder, and 100 grams of blueberries. I haven't had oats and God knows how long. Like, even in my off season, I wasn't eating them. Tastes so good. It's really warm right now, so I'm kind of letting it cool down. And it's starting to rain too. I wanted to eat outside because I was like, oh, what a beautiful view. But of course, we're stuck in the fucking rain. But I'm excited. I don't have much going on the next couple days, so I can really enjoy this refeed, kind of have a nice reset, get some good food in my system, carb up a little bit, and we'll see how these workouts go. Oh, so fucking good, bro. I'm not trying to gas it up either, but it's just so nice to have like fucking carbs, is what I'm getting at. The dopaminergic response that's happening in my brain is like not healthy. I use strawberry protein powder. I flavored it with a little bit of cinnamon and sugar. Nothing crazy. The tiniest spoon I have possible so I can savor it. I had to push the refeed back a day because I got sick. I had like a slight fever and my stomach was just bricked up. Like, I wasn't digesting food. It was not fun. Feel better now. We're on the mend, so hopefully having the more food will kind of help with digestion. No! Done. Got every last bit. So I'm about to make my pre-workout meal, and on the menu we have cream of rice, but I have none in my pantry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my own. So I'm gonna use a little bit of dry rice that I have, just pour it into my blender here. And we're gonna do a little bit so we have some left over. And we're just gonna blend it. Just blend it up. And then boom, within seconds, you have cream of rice. So all I did was I just took my dry rice, blended it up, and turned it into a powder. So this meal calls for 100 grams. I have 100 grams of cream of rice weighed out. It does get a scoop of protein, so I am gonna do some more whey drip like I did in meal 1. So I'm gonna take 1 scoop of protein, which is 25 grams of protein. The way to make the whey drip is you measure out 1 scoop of protein, however many grams that is in weight. You just add equal parts to water and then put it in the freezer for like 5 minutes. Put our cream of rice in. All right, here we got our whey drip. We're just whisking until it gets a nice, smooth consistency, just like that. Look at that shit. Oh, my cream of rice is done, and I think the best way to do it is by doing it on the stove top. The consistency is just unmatched. I have my cream of rice here and then the whey drip. Like I said, we got 100 grams of cream of rice in this meal. This is our pre-workout meal, so we want fast digesting carbs and a lean protein source. And we drip it in. Ooh. Look at that. So we have meal number 2 right here. This is our pre-workout meal, which consists of 100 grams of cream of rice, 25 grams of protein from whey drip, and then 1 medium-sized banana. I normally would eat like 3 meals before my pre-workout. But I am trying to get there on the earlier side just so it's not as busy. So we're just going for 2 today. It's going to be more than fine since I have plenty of carbs. But the peanut butter, whey drip, tastes so, so good. Also drinking an emergency with this meal. I was feeling a little sick, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm honestly recovered at this point, but just drinking that to help give me some good vitamins and keep me healthy. This meal shouldn't take long to digest. I'm probably gonna eat this, wait about 45 minutes to an hour, and then head to the gym. home from the workout, and all I can say is it was amazing. It feels so good to train again and actually have energy, actually have carbs in my system. Like I said, up until this point, I've really only had carbs pre and post workout, but even just having that one extra meal with that oatmeal makes such a difference. We had our upper workout today. Really good pump, was really happy with my look and everything. My coach right now, he has me logging my weight in the morning, post-workout, and then I'm gonna do it again before bed, along with taking pictures and doing a few rounds of posing. So I just weighed myself. This morning I was like 174.4, and then I just weighed in at like 172.6. So I think it's just metrics for him to have a better understanding of how my body is being affected during this refeed, which will help him later along in the prep. So I'm just doing what I'm told, and I'm not complaining because I'm getting fed and I'm getting fed well. So I'm making my post-workout meal right here, which consists, this is a big meal. I'm really excited for this one. So I just measured out 360, you heard that right, 360 grams of white rice and then 8 ounces of chicken. I am gonna put a little bit of veg with this meal. And on such a huge Brussels sprout kick, as you can see, I just stocked up. So I'm gonna make some more of those tonight, but I still got plenty left. So I'm just, since this is a lot of food, I'm only gonna do like 50 grams or so. Yeah. But as you can see, I like to roast them in the oven, get like a nice char on them. They're so good. Definitely the vegetable of choice this prep. And then a little secret, I've shown you guys this before, but as you can see, I kind of do like batch cooking. So I have like a bunch of rice made, a bunch of vegetables made, a bunch of lean protein made, and then I just assemble my meals one by one. But when I reheat them, the key is what I like to do is I add an ice cube, or you could add like a wet napkin or paper towel, but essentially, I don't know if it actually works. Like if there's a true science behind it, but to me, it feels like it keeps the moisture and the food doesn't get dried out as much. Okay, so the meal is all prepped and ready to go. As you can see, I mixed everything together. I added some salt and pepper and then a little bit of this Frank's Red Hot Wings buffalo sauce. 0 calories per serving. This is my go-to sauce. It's not too hot. And with chicken, it kind of gives me like a buffalo chicken vibe. It tastes so, so good. Paired with that, drink of choice today is the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Strawberries and Cream. It sounds really weird, but it tastes really good. I'm a diet soda fiend. It's actually been bad on this prep. I've clocked out at maybe 6 or 7 a day. That's record breaking for me. And I'm not proud of that. We're gonna try this meal right now. I think up until this point, I was having like 270 grams of rice with my post-workout meal, so this isn't too big of a change. But most of the time I'm leaving the gym like ravenous, like I'm so hungry, chugging like Powerade Zero. So this is a good change of pace, actually being able to like spend a decent amount of time in the gym, get a good pump, and actually feel like I have energy for once. So I'm gonna enjoy this, and then my next meal is meal number 4, which is pretty much the same, it's boring. But then meal number 5, it gets interesting. So I'll see you for meal 4, and then we'll start prepping for meal 5. All right, guys, so it's been a few hours since I've trained, got home, I had my post-workout meal. It's actually almost 7 o'clock right now. So I do want to get to bed a little bit early tonight. So I do need to get this meal down because I still have one left. And it is a pretty big meal. But this is essentially the same as our post-workout meal, but instead of 360 grams of rice, we only have 180 in this one. Still have 8 ounces of chicken, and I added the shredded lettuce and some Brussels sprouts. But I switched up the sauce, and I did a G. Hughes Japanese barbecue low-calorie sauce. This stuff is amazing. It tastes really good. And I just made this chicken today, so it's super fresh. Tastes amazing. Rice is fresh. Everything's good. This feels good to have carbs again back in my diet. If you've ever been on a low carb diet, if you're a wrestler, have been doing extreme weight cuts, you know that feeling of just having like no energy, being depleted. I literally felt like I was like dragging everywhere, like dragging my feet everywhere I went. And you can tell it too. I mean, you feel it in your workouts, you feel it in the cardio sessions, you feel it in your daily life. It's part of the process, and you ultimately got to just toughen through it and just suck it up. That's like something a lot of people say is embrace the suck, because you're ultimately going to hit a point where it's not going to feel good. You're not going to have those same workouts you did in the off season. You're just not going to have that same drive, that same energy. But that's what makes or breaks a champion, is the person who sits back and sits in comfort, or the guy who pushes forward 2 times harder, continues to train, continues to push himself day in and day out, stays consistent no matter how he feels. That's the difference between someone who's good and someone who's great. So, I just need to constantly remind myself that day in and day out, is that this is part of the process. I'm meant to feel this way, and I need to embrace it, because that means it's working. That means I'm doing good. Wow. I inspired myself with that. I'm not going to lie. Biggest takeaway, especially during a bodybuilding prep, this is something I've always said, is that I started 20 weeks out. I am now 5 to 8 weeks out. Like, I'm 7.5 weeks out. That 9 weeks out to 4, to me, is always the toughest, because you've been in prep for so long, you've been dieting for so long. And it's at that point where it's really starting to suck. The first couple weeks, you kind of have that motivation. You're seeing the initial weight loss and the initial fat loss happen. You're getting more definition day by day. New veins are popping out. Everything's looking good until you're tired, until you don't have that energy that you used to. You've been doing this for so long. You're waking up doing the same amount of cardio every day, eating the same boring foods, and it's getting less and less and less. Your energy's getting lower. There's gonna come that point. And specifically within a bodybuilding prep, for me, it's always in that 9 to 5 weeks out point. And the fact that I'm getting this refeed now is definitely helping me a little bit, because I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little obsessed with the food and just getting in my head a little bit. So this is definitely kind of really course correcting me, if I'm trying to say that right, and keeping me on the right track moving forward. So gonna enjoy this, and I'll see you guys for the last meal of the night, which is gonna be exciting because it's my all-time favorite meal. This is definitely my favorite meal by far. My dog's whining. Max, you okay? This is my favorite combination of food by far. It's honestly the eggs and beef, and then the potato. When they're nice and crispy, it ties it all together. And I think this is my biggest meal of the night. So after this, I actually do have to, I'm gonna let it digest for a little bit, but I do have to get my weight and then take pictures before bed. So it's already 9:30. I'm eating this kind of late. Probably give it maybe an hour, try to get in bed by 11, I guess. But this was the first full day eating, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And it was actually the first day of prep that I recorded, now that I think about it. So I do want to start recording a lot more. I do have more free time, so I am available to record. This is the final result of the meal. It doesn't look pleasant, but trust me, it tastes so good. Washing it down with the 0 sugar root beer, my favorite drink. But yeah, this is my only fatty protein meal of the day, and I get 8 ounces of beef. On day 3 of the refeed, I get an 8-ounce ribeye, which I'm so excited for. So I'm gonna go to a nice butcher shop, get a nice cut of steak, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna keep you guys posted, record everything, and like I said, I'm gonna have more episodes out this prep, so stay tuned, subscribe, and thanks for watching if you made it all the way to the end.